Humans prefer AI to Shakespeare. There's a brand new update inside of Runway that is incredible. Camera angles will soon be a thing of the past, and there's a brand new AI studio that is shaking up Hollywood. This is your AI film news of the week. Before we hop in, I want to say thank you so much to TCL for inviting the Curious Refuge team out to their AI film event at the Chinese theater. It was amazing to see our instructor at Curious Refuge, Dave Clark, curate such an amazing event. Okay, let's get to the news. The first big piece of news that I want to talk about is some high-level advertising campaigns that were commissioned by Coca Cola utilizing artificial intelligence. So the team at Coke basically partnered up with a few different studios, including Secret Level, Silverside AI, and Wildcard, to put together a series of commercials for the holidays. And these commercials are basically recreations of their 1995 commercial, Holidays Are Coming. So the commercials are interesting. They very clearly used some sort of combination of like Stable Diffusion and ChatGPT and maybe like Dolly and maybe some Midjourney to put the videos together. Now, obviously, whenever you have a big brand embracing AI like this, there's going to be controversy and people putting the projects down. But I think that these projects had something that was very unique. For example, one of the people that actually worked on the project said that in just a matter of days, they were able to generate 110 different versions of the advertisement where they could basically customize it for 27 different markets. Now, shooting 27 unique commercials in the past would have been a very challenging bar to get to whenever you're working on an advertising project, but being able to contextualize specific ads directly in the post-production pipeline is pretty unique. And I think it really does showcase some of the areas where AI really thrives. It was really funny. I was watching football this last week and a Honda commercial popped up that was basically a Honda for the holidays advertising campaign. And it very clearly was using artificial intelligence in the background. It had this kind of dancing, kind of Kyber effect going on. And I think it really just showcases that even if agencies aren't being forthcoming about the fact that they are utilizing AI, basically every agency in the world is utilizing AI inside of their workflows. And that also reminds me of a really funny experiment that we saw where Tim at Theoretically Media basically put together a video showcasing utilizing AI to fix the old Polar Express film that, just has a lot of those uncanny valley renderings in them. I thought it was a really funny example of just utilizing AI to blend with pop culture phenomenon and create something new. So I definitely recommend checking that out. It's really cool to see these high-level advertising campaigns go out. And I should note that Dave Clark, the instructor of our AI advertising course, actually worked with Secret Level to create some of the ads for the Coca-Cola campaign. So really cool to see our instructors working at a really high level. But the cool thing is, if you want to learn from him or any of the talented instructors at Curious Refuge on the latest AI tips and techniques, we would love to have you inside of our courses. We're actually throwing an exclusive Black Friday sale that actually starts 2 days early next Wednesday, November 27th at 11 a.m. Pacific time. We're giving you $100 off any Curious Refuge course or bundle. So if you've been on the fence about joining us, I highly recommend checking out the sale. That includes our brand new AI animation course, AI filmmaking, AI advertising, and of course, AI documentary. The team at Viggle has announced that you now have the ability to replace multiple characters inside of their application. So Viggle is essentially a tool that allows you to select a character and replace that character inside of a scene. You now can have dynamic interactions between multiple characters using Viggle. Let me show you how to use it. To use the tool, all you have to do is go to the Viggle website and go ahead and click on that Try on Web button. And then you'll go over to the Multi button on Viggle's website and select the video. I have this one here of just like these people dancing. So you can see that it automatically detected the 3 people in the scene. So now we need to add in our characters that we want to replace. So essentially you have the ability to upload images of your characters and it will replace them inside of the scene. So we have 3 characters here, this woman, this dude, and this other woman, and we want to add them inside of the scene. So now we have 3 different characters and you can see they're already isolated. So we'll select the first one and let's select our first image here. So there we go. Select our second character here. And again, we will select the image and our third character and select the image. And when you are ready to render, just go ahead and click create. And after just a few minutes, we have our video of people dancing here and it's pretty stable. Now, obviously it's not silver screen quality just yet, but I think it really does highlight the future of being able to replace actors with different characters, have more consistent characters inside of your scene. You could have one actor play multiple people, and there's just a lot of creative possibilities that are unlocking utilizing tools like Viggle. Over on Runway, they now allow you to generate 20-second long video to video generation. So previously you were limited to 10 seconds. Now you can do 20 seconds. Let me show you how to use it. To use the tool, just go to the Runway website, and I should note that don't click on this video to video button because that will not run the latest version of video to video. What you need to do is go to generative video and make sure that you're in Gen 3 Alpha. And now you can drag and drop your footage. So I have this video clip here of this toy snake. It's 20 seconds long. And let's say that we want to put this toy snake inside of a rainforest. So I'm gonna go ahead and drag and drop that into our box here. And for our prompt, we'll say a bright green live action snake curled up in the floor of a rainforest, sunlight shining. And you can go ahead and click generate. And after a few minutes, we have this video here. You can see that I don't think the snake looks like a live action snake, like especially the face of that snake looks really off. But the actual environment that it's in, especially with the lens flare coming through and just the dynamics on the ground, they actually look pretty good. So I would say that it's not completely photorealistic, but especially if you keep re-rolling and really shoot for what you're looking for, I think that the new updated long form version of Runway video to video could be really helpful for creating really dynamic shots. The team at Freepik has released the ability to generate video on their platform, which is pretty cool. And it's also interesting because they've integrated with other AI video generation tools that are out there. So essentially, it can kind of be a one-stop shop to generate videos in a few different styles. So for our example here, I'm going to use a start frame where we're basically looking at the sky and it's raining, and then this end frame where we end our shot on this cat who's basically standing in the rain. So essentially, we want to tilt down from the sky, revealing the cat. So in order to pull this off, you basically just need to go to the Freepik website, click generate video and select your first frame. And now we can drag and drop our first frame here. There we go. And so again, we will select our end frame and go ahead and click open and use image. And the cool thing is it will upload the images, but then it will actually create a prompt automatically of what it thinks you want to see between the two images. So you see we have this long prompt here, which is pretty cool. Now you can change the mode. Essentially, you can change the video model that is being used to generate the video. And you can see we have Luma, Runway, Minimax, all of the good options here. So I'm going to select Minimax because it's kind of my favorite video model at the moment. And under effects, kind of a bad name, it should say camera movement. You can see we have a few different options here. I'm gonna select move down just real quick and then go ahead and click generate. So it does take a few minutes to generate your footage. So here is the result from Minimax. You can see, it actually looks pretty good. That cat does look pretty sad though, and I don't think that that alleyway is exactly what we uploaded, so it's clearly ignoring that second in frame there. We also have this video footage from Luma, which again looks pretty dynamic at the beginning. It does soften up quite a bit there towards the end, but that is a complete movement with the frames that we uploaded, so that's pretty sweet. And then finally, we have Runway here. Again, pretty dynamic movement. I'd say in this case, I think Runway probably did the best out of all of the video tools, but they all did, a pretty good job. Now, I do want to point out that I wasn't able to get Freepik's Mochi AI video system to generate a video, so there might be a bug there. But just having more tools that are available to you to allow you to generate video footage in a single platform just kind of helps to streamline the entire process. There were some incredible futuristic tools that popped up this last week that I think you should know about. The first one is called Gaussian Anything, and it really is in the name. It allows you to create Gaussian scans of basically anything that you upload an image of. So all you have to do is upload a picture and it will create a 360 Gaussian splat of that object. So this is somewhat similar to the other AI image to 3D model applications that are out there like Meshi, but this one specifically is giving you everything inside of a Gaussian point cloud that gives you more flexibility, especially as we move into AR environments. I also came across a really interesting tool called MagicQuill that's basically like generative fill in Photoshop, but more in like a painterly kind of way. So you essentially can use tools like a Wacom tablet or an iPad to paint in changes that you want to see inside of an image, and those changes are just like much more dynamic. So for example, we have this picture of this woman here, and we can basically draw on the clothes that we want to see. And you can see that the prompt is automatically changing at the top, which is pretty cool. And so we can kind of paint in what we want to see, go ahead and click run, and it will create the image. We also have the ability to do out painting and in painting, so we can basically remove all of these people in the background, click run, and there you go, they're removed. And you can do all sorts of things, like maybe you want to put on some jewelry on this character and type in a necklace, go ahead and click run, and you can see that it puts in a necklace. I think this is notable for a few reasons. The first is simply the fact that it's open source. You don't have to subscribe to Photoshop in order to use this feature. The second is the fact that it's very tactile, so it feels like a very artistic experience as you're painting and making changes to the images. And three, I think it's just simply better than generative fill in a lot of cases. Generative fill is very finicky, and a lot of times, even if it's a completely normal image or a completely normal thing that you're trying to change, you'll get errors inside of generative fill saying that it's against Adobe's policies. So I think having more tools like this will just really unlock more creative possibilities and make the process of customizing those images to be exactly what you're looking for even easier. The next research paper that we came across that's really impressive is called MVideo. And the thing that makes this tool so unique is the fact that it really is pushing into dynamic movements. So obviously, whenever you are prompting inside of an AI tool, getting really dynamic movements like people dancing or just like a lot of movement across a scene can be really challenging. Well, this tool specifically is using a masking approach to create some dynamic movements that are pretty interesting. Here's a quick example of a guy doing breakdancing here, and you can see that the open Sora example, the guy just basically just turns into nothing. The CogX video example, again, the guy just like totally manipulates and turns into like a weird spaghetti monster. And the example that comes from MVideo has a guy and he's doing a backflip and he seems pretty stable. It's not perfect, but it's much more stable than previous video generators. Here's a second example here of a guy on a mountain bike. So you can see with Open Sora, we have this weird example where he basically just flips back and forth. Inside of CogX video, we have this example here where the bike just blends into nothing and he breaks the laws of physics, which is cool. And inside of MVideo here, we have this guy and he does like a full bicycle trick, which is pretty cool. And the physics actually not that bad. So it did a really good job. And I should note that Open Sora is a different tool than Sora. They're completely unrelated. One of them is open source, the other is with OpenAI, which is not publicly available just yet. So I think that tools like MVideo are very interesting because they really showcase that the problems that we currently face with AI videos, whether it's continuity with characters or having dynamic camera movements or dynamic movements with your characters, those are going to be things of the past very soon. If open source code is already giving us results like this, it will only be a matter of time till very easy user-facing tools allow you to create really dynamic camera movements and characters in only a matter of seconds. And the last piece of futuristic technology that I really think you should know about is called DimensionX. So this tool basically allows you to upload images and video and change the camera movement. So last week we talked about a tool that Google was developing that allowed you to change camera movement and camera angle basically inside of post. This tool seems even better, and the results are kind of blowing my mind. So for example, we have this scene here of this character sitting at a table, and you can see that we have a single image that we uploaded, but we can change the angle to be anything we want. So we can go all the way around this character, we can go in and out and zoom in, and basically camera angles will soon be a thing of the past. You will be able to completely reframe your shot inside of a post-production workflow using tools like this. The other thing that's pretty interesting is the fact that they announced that they will have this feature available with video as well. So for example, we have this video here from the Sora example of the mammoths walking, and utilizing DimensionX, you can basically orbit around the characters here. And you can see that, yeah, it's like retaining the movement. We can orbit to the left, and of course it retains the movement as well. You can have the camera zoom in and just really have fine-tuned controls over what you are looking for. Now, they do have an online demo that you are free to play around with. This type of technology is not available in user-facing tools at the moment, but you can imagine within the next few months, you will more than likely have the ability to change camera angles inside a post-production pipeline. In wild art news, there was a study that came out this last week that said that humans actually prefer poetry written by AI to poetry written by humans. So the study comes from the University of Pittsburgh, where they basically had human written text from Shakespeare and Dickinson, and they compared that against AI generated poems. So there were actually 1,600 participants, so fairly large study. And it actually turned out that the participants could only identify the AI poems 46.6% of the time. So literally worse than random chance. The researchers asked the participants to rate the poems across 13 different measurements, and the AI system won all 13 times. Now, what's also very funny is that when people were notified that the poem was written by AI, they actually ended up giving it a lower rating, even though whenever they did a blind test, it actually turned out that they preferred the AI poems. I think this study really highlights, one, that AI systems are getting incredibly good at creating stories and emotional resonance, but two, people that understand how good stories can resonate with people and how to craft those narratives together are going to be the ones that get the most from this AI revolution. Story is king, so it's incredibly important to use your own creative taste to create something amazing. As we're thinking about the evolution of entertainment with artificial intelligence, one of the most obvious areas that AI is going to completely transform the ecosystem is gaming. And there was a really interesting app that popped up this last week that's basically like a D&D game that you can play on your phone. So it's called AI Game Master. Let me show you just a quick little example here. So we'll go to Start New Adventure. Again, this is free inside of the Apple Store, and go to Solo Campaign. So it's asking us what kind of adventure do we want to do. I'm going to say, let's go cyberpunk. So now it's asking for specific instructions about who the main character will be. Let's say a dog wearing a mech suit. Okay, so it created us a character named Rex here, and you can see, yeah, it did a pretty good job. It says that Rex has become a legend in his own right, helping those in need to carve out his own path of chaotic good. So it's asking us now, are we ready to hop into the game? Let's do it. I'm ready. Let's go. Okay, so basically it generated a story where we have to collect an artifact called the Infinite Veil. and we are basically in danger because there's this tech cult called the Singularity Sect that is coming after us. What do we want to do? Well, I want to go to McDonald's. Okay, great. We went to McDonald's and apparently we leveled up. And now we're going to eat 75 burgers. And you can see that it's this back and forth. So no matter what you type in, it will allow you to basically explore those creative rabbit holes. So it's kind of like Dungeons and Dragons with an AI assistant. You have the ability to play with other people as well, so I definitely recommend checking it out. And our final bit of news comes from a brand new AI studio in Hollywood that looks like it's going to be a major player in this new AI revolution. The studio is called Promise, and it was founded by George Stromopoulos, Jamie Byrne, and our very own Dave Clark. It's really interesting because I think they're approaching storytelling from a very unique perspective. And they have the backing of some really impressive VC funds, including the Cherning Group and Andreessen Horowitz. The CEO, George, said that they're investing in new Gen AI talent who blend traditional filmmaking chops with cutting-edge technical expertise. And I think that's really cool to see more studios investing in people like you, the people watching this web show right now. There's clearly a huge need right now for awesome AI talent. So if you're looking to learn the latest AI skills, or if you're looking for awesome AI opportunities, be sure to go over to our website at curiousrefuge.com. Of course, we have courses in the latest AI tips and techniques, but we also have a jobs board where studios post job opportunities, and we hear every single week from people who land amazing jobs from that jobs board. And that brings us to our AI films of the week. The first film I want to highlight is called Migration by Jeremy Higgins. So this is one of the first films to come out of the Runway Studios collaboration, where they are providing grant opportunities for funding for exploring different types of films. So basically, Jeremy put together this mixed media format that blended Runway Gen 3 with 2D animation. I think the result is really cool, very clever, fantastic work on this project. The next film that I want to highlight is called The Gardener by Machine Mythos, which we've highlighted on this channel a few times. It basically kind of draws inspiration from Hellraiser, and it has just this like really eerie vibe to it. I know that Halloween's kind of behind us, but I highly recommend checking it out. The curation, the color grading, it looks really, really good. And the final project that we want to highlight this week is called The Thin Man, the Gun, the Hotspot by Jim huihui. It basically is an anime style film that showcases really, really dynamic AI animation. They said they used Kling, Pika, Pixverse, and Runway, and they actually edited the project inside of CapCut, which I thought was pretty wild. It's one of the better AI anime projects that we've seen, so fantastic work on this project. And I should note that there are a ton of AI meetups and events happening around the world. For example, Runway is hosting meetups in Thailand, Switzerland, Argentina, and Germany. The Curious Refuge community is hosting meetups in West Palm Beach on December 5th, Berlin on December 6th, and New York City on December 8th. So if you happen to be in those areas, be sure to come by and say hello. And there's also a really interesting AI arts event in London at the Alan Turing Center on December 3rd. And then finally, I want to remind you about an AI news podcast that we have started up. Basically, there's a lot of stuff that we'd love to get to inside of this AI film news episode that we can't get to, and we love to explore further ideas that we really just don't have time to explore. So we created a podcast, and I'm chatting with Fred Grinstein and Jagger Waters to discuss the latest AI news and kind of give our raw opinions about what we think about the tools and announcements each week. You'll find a link below this video to check out this week's episode. Be sure to like and subscribe because it would be incredibly helpful. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of AI Film News. Of course, you can like and subscribe directly here on YouTube to be the first to know when a new tutorial drops. And of course, you can subscribe to our email list over at Curious Refuge if you want to get AI film news sent directly to your inbox. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you soon.